What's going on YouTube? EXO here. So today we're going to look at a spreadsheet that I built. It's going to help me determine the best players to pick for Battlefield and the ones to leave out. So essentially what you put in is their troop tiers here on the left, their troop amount, points per million killed, their total points given up for each tier, and then the total points needed to break even. So if you come down here, insert troops here in the green, the only place you touch anything is in the green. So you would put in their T1s, T2s, T3s, etc. Fill in. If they have 15s and 16s, there's the column. If not, don't fill them in. This is your total for the tier. It'll automatically populate up here. Like if I take this billion away, it took it away up top. So what this is good for is to see the players that get in, get zeroed, and you feel like are a liability to your team. So this is a copy of my keep, and there's some things to consider, which I have down here at the bottom as notes. But this is a copy of my keep, my troops. That's the points that I would give up if I was fully zeroed. Or this is the points I'd give up if I was fully zeroed. I would need to score this 17,706 to break even. So how I kind of determine if the keep is going to be worth entering in the battlefield, I take their last 5 battlefield scores, put them in here in the green. That gives you a total of 61,602. The average of those 5 battlefields is 12,320. So then my battlefield average minus the break even is negative 5,386. So that looks bad, but then there's things to consider. So did this player get fully zeroed with no reinforcements? If yes, then that score is probably, something to consider, maybe thinking about leaving them out. Especially if you have like 3 players that give up that amount of score, and then you lose every battlefield by 15,000 points, and you have 3 players giving up 5,300, and they get zeroed every single time with no reinforcements, it's probably smart to leave those out, because then you essentially get rid of that 15,000 you are negative, and you would pull the win. Next would be, did the player join any rallies, or did they get zeroed with range? If they had reinforcements, there's a good chance that the reinforcement guys, they scored enough points to offset that keeps negative. Also, if they joined rallies, there's a good chance that they had enough positive from the rallies to offset that, this negative average. The next thing is, then this is a big one, did the player in battlefield with power left? So this is all considering a fully zeroed keep. There's times like this Battlefield 4, I can tell you, with that score, I most likely ended with power left, because that was probably a win battlefield. So this number would actually go down because I had power left, but I have no way to calculate that. Another thing, did the player heal? That negative, if they healed and they got zeroed again, that negative would be, even worse. Does the player score any thing off of buildings? That's a lot of this. I mean, a player could get zeroed, but they could score, if they're active in buildings, they could score and make this less. But a lot of them get zeroed, and they go sit in the corner and then wait until battlefield's out. And then the last thing that I kind of come up with is the player a part of your key rally team? A key element of your rally team. So like me, I am a part of the rally team. My 3.5 million troops is in every single rally, and we would probably do worse without the keep than with the keep. So it's best to leave a player like that in. There's times like Battlefield 3, I scored 7,000. I think that's possibly the Battlefield we played ATM, and Sardine, one tapped me with like a 70 million rally with 4,500% buffs, and there was nothing I could do about that. Sometimes that's just how it is, and that's just how it goes. You can see, though, I'll make some adjustments that's going to change, and I'll make a few adjustments, and it'll basically be me showing, and this is 11 build keep, but I'll make some adjustments to the troops and these battlefield scores, and it'll be like what one of our 7 build players are that gets one tap by a solo, basically every single battlefield. So he scores like 2,500, Battlefield 1. He may have a good battlefield, or a little better than average, 3,500. He may have a good one. He has that 6,900. Scores 3,000 here, and it scores 1,500. So now their average is 3,485. Now we need to take away some troops because this player does not have the troops that I do. So say they have 500 million T1. Say they have 2 million of these each. Say 3 million of these. And so that would roughly, I went from 11 bill to, 7 bill, let's say. Now, this player's keep, hypothetically, is score to break even is 13,754. Well, you can see here, this is what their average score is. They totaled 17,000 for between 5 battlefields. They averaged 3,485 between 5 battlefields. Now their break even is negative 10,269. Go over to things to consider. No, they're not a part of a key player. No, they didn't do any battlefields. Yes, you've seen them get zeroed and then they healed 2 bill power back. Did they end battlefield with power? No, because they never do. Did they join any rallies or get rains when zeroed? No to the rains. Yes, they joined 2 rallies. Say that's all they did. And did they get fully zeroed with no rains? Yes. So if your things to consider kind of looks like this, yes, they got zeroed with no rains. That's why they gave up so many points, but gained so little points. They had no rains when they got zeroed, and they joined 2 rallies. So this 2 rallies per battlefield. So this might be 9,500 now. Hypothetically, obviously. Did they end battlefield with power? No, because they got zeroed. They're a 1-tap keep. Did they heal? Yes, they healed, even though we told them to, or they got a team heal, something like that. They scored battle or points off of buildings. No, because they got zeroed and they sat at the corner of the map. And no, they're not a part of the rally team because they're a 1-tap and they can't be at the hive, etc., etc. So at this point, this player is negative 9,500 per battlefield, and I would say they need to stay out. Sorry, you're not a fit, but until you don't gain any more power, you need to raise your buffs and get to the point where you can take solos. At least take solos, and it'd be best if you could take 1 rally. 2 rallies would be better. especially with rains. Then this number would go, away, because if they raise this they double these, you double these, or you take these to 5,000, that one stays the same. Now they average 5,000 plus the rallies that they get into. You're probably looking at closer to 7,000. So they're working their way towards it, but they're still not, worth it. Even if you do 8,000 per battlefield, they're still going to be negative 5,700, about 5,000 if they join a few rallies. So I'm going to be doing this for my alliance. Probably anybody that's not in the hive and is over, like, I don't even know. I don't know the number yet. But if they're over a certain number, negative, and they're not a part of the rally team, they're probably about to get pulled. So we don't keep losing battlefields by, 10,000, 20,000 points, because we have 4 or 5 keeps that are 1 taps, and this just shows why. Anyways, if y'all enjoyed this, the link to this spreadsheet will be in the description. I will not give permission, so if you want it, you can literally make a copy or download it to your computer and put your information in. Like, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch y'all later.